Peace out. This school year 24-25 is done. Done. It feels good. It was a great year, but I am ready to relax. Hello, my name is Michelle and this is Michelle's Fiber Studio Podcast. Today is Wednesday, June 18th, and this is episode number 53. I am on summer break. School's out for the summer. I literally just got home 15 minutes ago. My school year is over. I went and got myself a energy tea from my favorite little tea shop on the way home to celebrate. It's Strawberry Rita. I don't drink, but that's as close as I get. I thought that would be a fun little indulgence. And I am ready. But more about that later. I don't think I have any administrative things to talk about. I have updates on some projects. I have project dreams to talk about. So let's dive right in. Okay, the first project I'm going to talk about, I got nothing on my blocking board. I didn't finish anything. I'm going to pull the project that has gotten the most love. I have it here in my project bag from Haute Knit Yarns that I got at Fiber Frolic. And this is my Skyline Tee. You guys are going to be really surprised because I have a lot that I have gotten done. Look, oops, let's hold it the right side, huh? Look at that. So let's see, where's my marker? I was right here last week and that is the back. I think I was just finishing my back shaping. So I did all of my front shaping. I finished the back shaping, did all of my front shaping. I picked up and joined, actually I didn't have to pick up, but I joined around and I got a couple of inches done on the body. So this is really moving along. I put it on, try it on tubing yesterday and tried it on. It is fitting beautifully. So I'm really excited. Let's take a second and talk about the yarn first of all. So you got the yarn here. And the yarn is Yarn Over New York. It is her Times Square sock yarn, and Manhattan Henge is the colorway name. It was an exclusive for Nitty City, which is a yarn store in Manhattan. It's yarn that I got a couple of years ago when I visited my daughter in New York. I got 2 skeins. Got the windows a little open. I didn't say this in the intro. It is gray. You can probably see at the window it's gray. It's not very sunny, but it is 73 and it's actually quite muggy. So I opened the windows, but I live kind of on a corner intersection and the motorcycles like to take off with some fervor. At any rate, I digress. So yes, this yarn I got in Manhattan a couple of years ago. I got a couple of skeins and I am so thrilled with how this is working up. And I am trying hard. I leave next Friday to visit my daughter in New York City. And I'm trying hard to complete this by next Wednesday so that I have time to block it, it has time to dry, and I can take it with me because I think that would be so fun to wear that next week or the week after when I am in New York City. So when I have a specific goal in mind, have created myself a plan, courtesy of Nitty Natty of the Love and Stitches podcast. This is something that I do not all the time, but when I have specific goals and things that I want to break down, I put it out on paper. So what I did is I broke down the parts of the sweater that I have left. It's a short sleeve. I should say, did I say it's a Skyline Tee? I think I did, but it is by Tori Yu is the designer. And so I have 8 days to do it. I needed to do 7 more inches of the body, 2 inches of ribbing, the collar, and the 2 short, they're sleeves, but 2 sleeves. And then I figured out that basically I need to knit about 12 rows a day to get it done. My goal is to finish the body by Sunday. Then I can work on the collar on Monday, and that leaves me Tuesday and Wednesday to do 1 sleeve each. And I actually think that is completely doable, especially now that I'm on break. I have Bible study tonight. I'm gonna bring this with me. And obviously I'll do more than 1.5 inches or the 12 rows if I can, and I'm charging ahead. I will do more. I have, let me see, next Monday I'm spending the day with a friend, and she crochets and I'm gonna knit, so this will be the project that I'll be working on. Like, that is my goal, is to get this done, and I'm pretty confident that I can do it, which will mean that for all intents and purposes, I will have knit an entire little sweater in like 2.5 weeks, 3 weeks really. I think I cast it on June 1st. Do I have the date in my notes? I don't think I have the date in here. Cast it on May 31st is when I cast it on. So technically it'll be like 3.5 weeks, but there were some pretty good chunks where I didn't really work on it too much. So the bulk of the work will have been done in like a 2.5 week span. So, and then if I have extra, I think I will definitely knit a yarn cozy. So I will probably bring the needles so I can do that while I'm in New York. That would be kind of fun little project to work on. But then again is my Skyline Tee by Tori Yu. All right, set this on aside, get my little project bag to tuck it away. And I still have a full skein, by the way. I haven't even touched, so there is that. The other project that I worked on, not quite as much, because once I decided that I really wanted to focus on the Skyline Tee in the hopes of getting it done, that's where that landed. But this is my knit it down cardigan, and look, it's not attached. It looks super skinny on the bottom. The ribbing is pulling in. I'm pretty sure when I block it that will be totally fine. But I did finish the whole body, and I just have my sleeves. I would love to have this one done before I leave. I don't know if I'll bring it with me. I guess it depends on how much I have left, but I'm kind of inclined to leave it here. I have another project that I will tell you about in Project Dreams that I am intending to bring, and I can always bring this one with me to New Hampshire when we come back, because we are going with my family to stay in a little cabin. And apparently I actually didn't have a ton left to do, because looking at my marker is like right here, so I had like, what, 4 rows to do. So I did get those done anyway. And that's it. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this one. I didn't work on it a lot. I've talked extensively about the yarn, so I think I'm just going to move on this one. But we'll see. We'll see if I can actually complete this one. Now, it would be great if I could, if I get enough done, or if I need a break from the Skyline Tee and I get my 12 rows done, then maybe I'll pick this up. And, you know, maybe I should... What I probably should do is at least get the first sleeve picked up and ready to go, because I think at that point it'll just be a matter of working it round and round, probably some decreases in there, but that might be the smart thing to do so that it's ready to grab and go and I don't have to think, because it's the thinking part that can stall things out. So maybe I will do that later today. I'll at least pick up the sleeve so that it's ready to go. All right, and the last project to show you is my Northeasterly blanket. I, last night, finished my May, I gotta get my months right, finished my May yarns, and I actually joined, this one here is the first of my April, I'm going backwards, June, this month is June, yes. That's the first of my June yarns, and I cut it off because I'm doing a partial chevron so that my chevrons are stacked. But let's show you the colors that I completed for May, right? All right, going this way, I believe, because you saw all those already. So when I last left you, right, is that right? Yeah, that's right. So I had done the orange, so I did my yellow, got this limey green, that one there, and then it went into like a, I don't know, mint sagey green, I guess, and then this really, really pretty teal. So that is now essentially caught up. I'm pretty happy because it is the middle of June and I'm done. I'm not in the previous month's colors. I'm calling that a win. Again, I would love to have all of June's colors done before I go because I'm definitely not bringing this. It is way too big. I'm taking a bus down to New York and we are driving back, but I got to bring it down first. But it may end up coming with me. It probably will come with me in New Hampshire and I'll have plenty of opportunity to catch up. This is not a priority, but if I could get the colors all done before I go, that would be good. But that's 12 colors and that would basically mean 2 colors, not quite 2 colors a day, like a color, 2 colors every, or 3 colors every 2 days, right? Would that add up about right, I think? Because I'm about 10 days out, which is possible if I, 2 colors one day and a color, something like that. We'll see. Again, I am not in school, so yeah, and I've got plans on Friday. I'm pretty busy tomorrow, but I've got plans on Friday to basically do nothing or to do just kind of whatever it is that I want to do. So that is the knitting that I have done and crocheting. The last project that I'm going to show you is a spinning project. Bring my little electric eel in here. So I have, look how awesome that looks. So I have this project on the wheel that I started on Sunday night, and it is a fairly old fiber. Well, a lot of my, except for the stuff I literally just bought, it's all old fiber. So this is fiber I bought in December of 2009, you all. That is 15 years? 15, oh my gosh. It's been in my stash for 15 years. That's really sad. Okay, anyway, I had 2 4-ounce braids, and this is mostly what it was looking like. It is red on the dark. It's a BFL, and this particular batch, for some reason, I split the braids into 4 separate chunks. And actually, ultimately 3 chunks, but I'll talk about that in a second. For some reason, this particular piece had more red than the other 3. The other 3 were pretty evenly split on what they looked like as far as a combination. But it is fiber from a dyer who I know for a fact is not dyeing anymore, Spunky Eclectic. She actually was based about 20 minutes away from me, and I used to see her at Spa and at the Fiber Frolic. She had a shop that she opened once or twice a week, so I shopped a couple of times in her shop. But the name of this is Mars. It was her Galaxy collection, but it's a BFL, Blue-Faced Leicester. So my plan, I'm actually very excited about this. I split the fiber into thirds because I also have from Spunky a big batch of dark BFL right here, and I got 1.5 pounds of this, and my plan is to create 3 skeins of yarn, about 4 ounces a piece, which is about 100 grams, and knit a sweater. I'm pretty sure I'll have enough. I can always spin more. But my plan is to create, the first skein is going to be 2 plies of the Mars, the special fiber, The second skein is going to be 1 ply of the Mars with 1 ply of the dark BFL. And then the third skein is going to be just 2 plies of the dark BFL. And so I'll have like a fade that I can knit down into this sweater. And I think it is going to be super cool. And I'm very excited. And I started this on Sunday. This is the first ply, so I'll have 3 plies of the red. And this is what I have left, is just this little batch here. And then, so I'm gonna finish that up today for sure. And start the second one. And I don't know, I will probably ply them together, and then I've got the third ply that I'm gonna ply with the BFL in this bag. So I will probably just go ahead and do it that way. But it is working. I'm loving this wheel. Oh my gosh, this is just, it's so amazing. And I cannot get over how consistently I am able to spin on this wheel. And it's just so consistent. So I've got big thoughts in my head of some other things that I want to do, but it's also encouraging me to think about pulling out my regular wheel and finishing some larger projects that have been on that, which will be kind of nice because I can pick away at those while still doing some other fun things in between, which will probably keep me encouraged to do the bigger, harder, or less interesting projects that I'm working on when I got some fun stuff on the smaller electric eels. So that is that. That's my spinning. I am definitely planning on bringing this little spinning wheel with this project. Probably, I'm assuming I will not have it done before I leave for New York. And so that is going to come with me then. Well, as I'm looking ahead to my trip to New York, I do have some project dreams. I think what I would like to make is the Bay Day tank, which is by Briana Luppino of Little Wolf Knits. And what I want to do is I have this little set of sock minis that I got from a friend of mine. It is from Hedgehog Fibres. And I want to make the tank with these, and I want to do it again as a fade. I'm like all about the fade lately. Like, I don't know, there's something about it that is captivating me. These aren't fully my colors, but I think it would make a fun tank top. And yeah, that's my goal. I actually have an email in to Briana because I'm not sure how I want to do this. These are 20 gram minis, I think. Yeah, 20 gram minis. They are 90% merino, 10% nylon. And I know with the way the tank, because I bought the pattern yesterday so I could start to take a look at it, start to plan my color management. And you work across the back, and then you work part of the front before you join, and then start working all the way around. So I'm not sure how I want to do that. I don't want the back to be radically different from the front, but I also don't know how to save yarn enough to make it work out without knitting back and forth between the front and the back. And I don't know if I even can without, I'm not sure what that's gonna look like. So I sent an email into Briana to ask if she had any suggestions on color management. I do know that I'm not going to use all of these. The darker ones, I'm going to start with the lighter colors and work my way down and save the darker ones. And I think the darker ones I could more easily blend into other projects for myself than those lighter, light colors. So I think based on the yardage, it'll take me somewhere down to here. I'll probably have the last 3 won't get used. But again, I don't want the front to be radically different from the back, so I'm really not sure. But on the other hand, like this first yellow is my least favorite, so if it's all on the back, then that might not be the worst thing anyway. Yeah, I don't know, but I do need to swatch. That's something else I want to do in the next 3 or 4 days. I want to swatch so I can wash and block the swatch. I will probably start with this end, this color, and do my swatch in that. That way, yeah, I guess. Or I guess I could do my swatch in that yellow. Again, I don't really like the yellow, so if I use less of the yellow, it's probably not any, you know, the end of the world. But I could also take the swatch out and use the yarn if I need to later. I don't know, I'll think about it. But that is what my project dream is. I have nothing new. Well, that's not entirely true. I did get the Lazy Kate, I think it's right here actually, it doesn't look like much because it's all in the bag, but I did get the Lazy Kate to go with my electric eel, and it is the Lazy Kate that is designed for it, which is nice and small and packable. That way I can bring it with me to New York. But you got the bases here with the hole, and so there's a peg that sticks out. They connect together with magnets like that. Okay. And you just put the piece in there to hold the bobbin. So that's really the only addition to my yarn shelf, kind of, sort of. It's a tool more than anything. I'm not gonna fight with this right now. Just set it right there. So anyway, let's move into my day today. Last Wednesday, so I filmed on Tuesday, I think. Monday. I think it was Monday when no, it was Wednesday, because Tuesday I had in my notes about Step Up Day, which was last Tuesday. So yeah, Wednesday was fairly quiet, Wednesday night. Thursday was exceedingly busy. Hold on, I need a little sip of my tea. I haven't been talking as much today, so yeah. The school day wasn't anything particular in the school day that was busy, but once I left school, of course I got up, my alarm goes off at 5:15, head off to work. But after school, I had my workout after school, and then I had a card class that I held at my house on Friday night, and I had not designed a lick. So when I got home from my workout, I spent an hour, a little over an hour, hour and whatever, designing 2 of the 4 cards that I needed. And then I got to a point, I'm like, okay, I gotta stop, I need to jump in the shower, took a quick shower, literally bolted my dinner like I had leftovers, and I was chewing so fast, I'm surprised I didn't choke, to fly back over to the school. I'm only 5 minutes away, thankfully, but we had our award ceremony that started at 6 o'clock. So I was there for the award ceremony, and then came back home, flew back home, because at 7 o'clock I had a Zoom Odyssey of the Mind board meeting. So I jumped onto the board meeting, a couple of minutes late, but some people had trouble logging on, so I didn't miss anything, at least for that. And I left as quickly as I could after the award ceremony. And I set myself up in my office so that while I was on the board meeting, I could continue to design another one of the cards that I needed for the following night. So I did that. I got 3 of the 4 cards designed on Thursday, and finally at like 9:30, everything was done, and then I collapsed into bed. Like, it was crazy. It was just one of those days. Friday, we had our 8th grade promotion ceremony at school, which is always bittersweet, I guess. It was good. We did it during the day. We had administrators who came over from the high school. We actually had a little bridge, and the kids walked across the bridge, and they shook hands with all the administrators, and then our principal was at the end and shaking their hand, and then myself and the social worker, my friend Katy, and my friend Carrie, who is the special ed team leader, we were all kind of like lined up against the wall as they came like off of the bridge. The kids were coming like toward us and then going back around to get on there to sit where they were sitting. So as we each saw kids that we had really worked closely with, we kind of walked towards them, like more in front of the chairs, and greeted them and gave them hugs and congratulated them. And so that was really super cool. And what was really kind of nice, the assistant superintendent was there, who I actually know really super well. He was the principal at the high school up until last October, when he took the assistant superintendent's position, and he worked really closely with my oldest and my other 2 kids as well. So anyway, I know him really well, and we got a lovely note, the three of us. There was actually an ed tech there too who was also greeting kids, and he just commented on how touching it was to see how we had clearly formed really strong connections with these kids, and he was really moved by the way the kids reacted to us and how much emotion there was around us greeting them. So that was really sweet and nice to be recognized in that way for the work that we do. That was the biggest reason I became a school counselor, is because I wanted to make connections with kids. And I feel like I made great connections with kids when I worked at elementary school, but the connections I have now at the middle school are just so very different. So that was really cool, very sweet little note to get from him. So that was Friday, and then when I got home, I had one more card to design, and then I had my card class that night. So finally it was like, okay, get through that. Saturday was not super busy, but finally it stopped raining. And it actually rained first thing in the morning, so we can actually say it still rained, but the rest of the day was cloudy, and actually the sun ended up coming out later. But we have literally had rain every weekend since March, the end of March. And my black raspberry bushes desperately needed to be pruned. And so I finally took the opportunity on a Saturday to go out there. I spent I think it was like 3 hours, and of course the grass had started to grow up around it, so it was because they hadn't been pruned, and so they were overgrown a little bit, so my husband couldn't, the little bit of mowing that he has done, he couldn't mow around it. So I got that all cleaned out. I can add a picture in here, got them tied up and ready to go. And then I discovered in the branches, right when I was getting started, a bird's nest with 4, I think it is, 4 little eggs. I don't know what kind of bird it is. They're small. Like, I know robin's eggs are really small, but robin's eggs are blue. So I don't know what kind of bird's eggs these are. Again, I've probably at this point have already put a picture in here. I tried really hard. Like, I would have cleaned that out even more, but I tried to not disturb it. I tried to keep it sheltered and covered, because it actually was only maybe not even 2 feet off the ground. So like, my dogs could totally get to it if they see the movement back there. So I don't know. They might have discovered it anyway when the bird's eggs hatched. If the birds were making, little hatchlings were making a lot of noise, my dogs might have discovered them anyway. But I tried to kind of cover it as best I could, and I'm really hoping that the mama bird, comes back and doesn't abandon it and consider them to be not safe. So I gotta go back and check I haven't looked at it in the last couple of days to see if there's any change or if it's still there or such. But that was a big job, well done. It feels so good to have that taken care of. It looks so much better, and it's gonna be really nice now to harvest the berries. I actually never got to it last year. That was also part of the problem. So it was really overgrown because I didn't get to it at all last year. So it was just junky. But it'll be so much easier to deal with next year too, right? Ideally, I would be doing this sometime in late April or early May. I would go in, I would clean out the canes from the previous year. I would start to tie it up. The second year, so black raspberries, they work on a 2-year cycle. You've got the first year the canes grow up, and then the second year is the year that they actually bear fruit. So the first year canes are now grown up enough that I could actually tie them up. But if I do it in like May, it's warm enough to be pleasant enough to be outside, but not so hot that I'm dying, because I need to cover my arms because it's thorny, right? Black raspberry bushes are thorny. Like, you can actually, I don't know if you can see you see on my arm? This was, yeah. That's what happened. Those are the cut. There we go. Some of the they're pretty well healed now. You can see in here. So I had my arms were covered up, and then I had gloves, but I had like this much space that was exposed. And of course, it happens. And most years, this is pretty good because most years I'll start with a sweatshirt because I'm doing it later and it gets hot and sunny and I'm dying. Like I cannot tolerate having my arms covered even if they are getting all scratched. So what you're seeing on my arm here is usually all the way up my arm. So I'll take this. This is pretty good. When I first went out, it was cloudy. The sun popped out a few times, but didn't really stay out, and it was like 65, so it was tolerable. I was warm, but I didn't feel like if I didn't take the sweatshirt off, I would pass out. So I kept the sweatshirt on. I tried to tough it out, so that way I wouldn't get all scratched up. So that was done. That was not really how I wanted to spend my Saturday, because it was the first quiet Saturday in quite a few weeks, and it has been a busy several weeks, and the week before had been, you know, kind of busy, but it was a job well done. Sunday, of course, was Father's Day, and after church, we ended up going out to lunch. My husband and I and one of our two boys opted to come with us, and then we had some errands, groceries, and things we did afterwards. But then we came home and he took a nap, and I dug around. That's when I actually dug out this fiber that I'm spinning. I wanted something new to put on my wheel, and I had a different project that I thought that I was going to do a plan, and then when I looked at it again, I decided that, like, this has been in my mind since I had received it. Decided that's not what I wanted, and I decided to do this instead. So I started that project on Sunday. Monday was our last student day, so they dismissed at 10:30, and then we had lunch on our own. My two buddies, my two friends and I, we had lunch at Panera, and then came back, and I packed my entire office up. I'm not moving, but they do empty my furniture, my bookcase, and everything is small enough that they will actually pull it out entirely so they can wash and wax the floor. So I decided it would be easier to just box everything up this year. I didn't last year, and I didn't lose anything, but it just seemed like it would be easier. Just box it all up. And I'm kind of looking forward to the opportunity to kind of just reset and reorganize how I have things set up. So I think that'll be fine. Maybe I can get in on one of the days before, like, the workshop days. Like, I can get in, and once I know the floors are waxed, maybe I'll go in and set things up so I don't have to do that when I first arrive, because when I do kind of hit the ground running those first couple of workshop days, especially if I have any students that I'm touring, it would be nice if my office was a little more organized and set up to greet them. But anyway, so that was on Monday, and then yesterday and today were the last staff days. We had meetings yesterday morning, we had a staff barbecue for lunch, and then we've been pretty much on our own for the last day and a half. And so finally around 12:30, 20 of 1, I walked into my principal's office. I'm like, is it okay if I kind of quietly disappear? He's like, yeah, go ahead, you're good. So peace out. This school year 24-25 is done. Done. It feels good. It was a great year, but I am ready to relax. So that is it for today. If you have enjoyed this podcast, please like it and subscribe so you know when I have added new things to the channel. I will have links down below in the show notes for all of the things that I have talked about. You can find me on Ravelry and Instagram as Knittin Michelle, KNITTIN MICHELLE. You can also send me an email at michellesfibrestudio@gmail.com. I think that's it. So with that, I hope you have a fantastic week and happy knitting.